Look at your hand. For decades, it has built things, steadied others, and told the stories of your life through its lines and strength. Now, I want you to see it as one of your most powerful tools for lifelong health, vitality, and self-awareness. Because today, we're going to talk plainly, respectfully, and scientifically about a subject shrouded in silence: your sexual well-being as an older man, and the specifically safe, rewarding practice of self-pleasure. This isn't about titillation, it's about ownership. Owning your changing body, your enduring desires, and your right to a safe, healthy, and fulfilling sexual life with yourself as an essential partner. I am here not as a provocateur, but as a professional who understands that holistic health includes sexual health. And for men, in your decades, ignoring this aspect is like ignoring heart health or joint care. It's a critical piece of your overall wellness puzzle. Let's begin by confronting the silent wall that exists long before any physical act takes place, the wall of perception. For many men entering their later decades, the very idea of self-pleasure can be tangled in threads of awkwardness, irrelevance, or even shame. We inherit from a quieter generation a narrative that sexuality has a cliff's edge, a point at which it is supposed to gracefully retire, making way for a sexless, neutered version of older age. This is not just a social myth, it is a psychological trap. It leads to a quiet internal resignation, a belief that this part of you is now shelved, gathering dust alongside other relics of youth. The first and most profound act of safety, therefore, is not about technique, but about thought. It is the deliberate, conscious work of dismantling that narrative brick by brick and rebuilding a new one founded on the principles of holistic self-care. Think about how you approach other aspects of your health now. You likely monitor your diet with more awareness than you did at 25. You might stretch before a round of golf, take supplements for your joints, or have regular checkups for your prostate and heart. These are acts of respect for the body you live in, acknowledgments that maintenance and care evolve but never cease. Why, then, would we exclude the complex, intricate system of sexual response and satisfaction from this regimen? The reflex to dismiss it is the ghost of that old narrative whispering that it's silly or unseemly. I am here to tell you that it is neither. It is, in fact, a critical component of your physical and mental ecosystem. Reframing this practice as self-care means recognizing its tangible benefits: the release of endorphins and oxytocin, which combat stress, alleviate pain, and improve sleep; the promotion of blood flow to pelvic tissues, which aids in maintaining healthy sexual function; the regular, gentle maintenance of the prostate; and the powerful cognitive affirmation that your body is still a source of pleasure and agency. This shift from shame to self-care is an active process. It requires you to speak to yourself with the same kindness you might offer a friend. If a friend told you he felt guilty for taking a long walk because it felt too enjoyable, you'd quickly correct him, outlining the clear cardiovascular and mental benefits. You must become that friend to yourself. Self-care is not indulgence, it is intelligent stewardship. It is the understanding that touch is a fundamental human language, and that speaking it to yourself is a valid, healthy dialogue. It is about reclaiming autonomy over your own pleasure and well-being, independent of performance for a partner or adherence to outdated social scripts. It becomes a private ritual of self-knowing, a way to map the changes in your body's responses without judgment, to understand what feels good now, which may be different but no less valuable than what felt good decades ago. This mental shift is the secure foundation upon which all physical safety is built. When you approach this practice from a place of respect and curiosity, rather than furtiveness or obligation, you naturally become more attuned to your body's signals. You are more likely to go slowly, to use lubrication, to stop if something feels off, and to integrate it into a broader lifestyle of wellness. You are not engaging in a secretive act. You are conducting a personal health seminar. This reframing is the ultimate safety gear because it aligns your mind and body as partners in the pursuit of lifelong vitality. It transforms a once hidden act into a celebrated and crucially, a normalized part of caring for the magnificent, complex organism that is you in your seventh decade and beyond. Consider this not as a restriction, but as the most profound form of bodily respect. Your heart is the unwavering conductor of your life's symphony, and every activity, from climbing stairs to experiencing sexual arousal, is a movement it must expertly guide. The increased heart rate, the rise in blood pressure, the surge of adrenaline, these are natural, expected physiological responses to sexual stimulation, whether alone or with a partner. For a healthy cardiovascular system, this is a routine, manageable event. But for an aging heart that may be navigating the presence of plaque in arteries, managing hypertension, or recovering from a prior event, this routine demand requires a moment of conscious, preemptive dialogue. This is why we begin with a cardiovascular check-in. It is the cornerstone of safety, transforming an automatic act into a mindful one. The goal is not to instill fear, but to empower you with awareness to separate safe, beneficial activity from potential risk. Think of it identically to how you might approach a new exercise regimen. A prudent man doesn't leap into vigorous weightlifting without understanding his baseline. He learns his limits, warms up, and listens for warning signs. This is precisely the same paradigm. The process begins long before any physical touch. It starts with an environmental and internal audit. First, the context. Are you in a state of significant emotional stress or anxiety? Psychological strain already places a burden on the heart, and coupling it with physical arousal can compound that load. Choose a time of day when you are naturally relaxed, not immediately after a heavy meal which diverts blood flow to digestion or when excessively fatigued. Create a calm, private setting that allows your nervous system to be in a state of rest and digest, and not fight or flight. And next, the personal physical audit. This is a quiet internal conversation. Do a full body scan. Are you experiencing any unusual discomfort, a lingering pressure in the chest, a sensation of fullness or pain radiating to the jaw, neck, or arms? Are you unusually short of breath without exertion? Have you been diagnosed with a cardiovascular condition that is not currently well managed? This is where an honest relationship with your physician is invaluable. A proactive conversation about sexual activity is a sign of a comprehensive health approach. Your doctor can help you understand your personal risk profile, the potential effects of medications like beta blockers or diuretics on sexual response, and provide clear, personalized guidelines. Furthermore, understand that the safety principle extends to the act itself. The mantra is pleasure, not strain. This means avoiding positions that are physically taxing or that restrict breathing. It means allowing arousal to build gradually, not forcing intensity through aggressive physical or mental effort. It means breathing deeply and consistently. Oxygen is your heart's best friend during exertion. If at any point you feel dizzy, experience chest pain, or have a sudden, severe headache, you stop immediately. This is not a sign of failure. It is the ultimate sign of listening and respecting the body's intelligent alarm system. By instituting this ritual of check-in, you are not diminishing the experience, you are sanctifying it. You are honoring the vessel that carries you, ensuring that the pursuit of pleasure is seamlessly integrated into your lifelong commitment to health. It transforms the act from a purely spontaneous one into a conscious celebration of vitality, undertaken with wisdom and profound self-awareness. This is where we move from principle to practice, from theory to the essential, tangible interface between your body and your experience. The need for lubrication is not a suggestion born of commercial interest. It is a non-negotiable physiological imperative dictated by the very biology of aging skin and tissue. To ignore this is to directly, and often painfully, work against the design of your body as it exists now. In your younger years, the skin of the penis was more elastic, more robust, and supported by higher levels of natural hormones that maintained tissue integrity and moisture. Today, That same skin is thinner, more delicate, and far less hydrated. The mucous membranes involved are less prolific in their natural secretions. This is a universal change, as consistent and predictable as the need for reading glasses. To engage in friction without the proper interface of a lubricant is to risk causing micro, tears tiny, often imperceptible abrasions in the skin that serve as gateways for discomfort, irritation, and even infection. Think of it as you would any other mature skin. You would not vigorously rub your forearm without a protective barrier and expect it to remain unharmed. The principle is identical, but the role of lubrication extends far beyond mere prevention of injury. It is, in fact, the great enhancer and liberator. Its primary function is to reduce friction, but in doing so, it fundamentally transforms the quality of sensation. Friction, in this context, is the enemy of nuanced feeling. When there is dry, dragging friction, the dominant signal your nervous system receives is one of resistance and heat, which can blunt the subtler, more pleasurable sensations of touch, pressure, and movement. A proper lubricant eliminates that abrasive noise, allowing for a smoother, gliding interaction that permits those deeper, more rewarding sensations to come to the forefront. It allows you to use a lighter, more exploratory touch, to appreciate the full range of motion and pressure without the distracting sting of chafing. This is how lubrication shifts the experience from a potentially frustrating or uncomfortable effort into one of renewed discovery and reliable pleasure. It accommodates changes in erectile firmness, allowing for satisfying stimulation regardless of the level of rigidity. It is the tool that lets you work with your body's current reality, not against it. The choice of lubricant is therefore a critical piece of self-knowledge. Not all products are created equal, and the wrong choice can undermine the entire purpose. You must become a discerning consumer in the name of your own comfort and safety. Avoid anything with harsh chemicals, warming or cooling additives, or excessive perfumes, as aging skin is more prone to reactive irritation and allergic responses. Simplicity and quality are your guides. There are two primary recommended paths: water-based and silicone-based lubricants. Water-based options are versatile, easy to clean, and compatible with all materials, but they may require reapplication as they absorb or evaporate. Silicone-based lubricants are longer lasting, highly silky, and not absorbed by the skin, making them exceptionally efficient for the task, though they require soap and water for cleanup and can degrade silicone toys. The key is to experiment safely with a small amount to find what feels most natural and comfortable for you. Applying it generously is not wasteful, it is invested insurance. This act of preparing the body with lubrication is a ritual of preparation and respect. It is the moment you acknowledge the truths of your physiology and choose to engage with them intelligently and kindly. It is the practical affirmation of the self-care principle, a direct physical manifestation of the commitment to your own safety and pleasure. By embracing this imperative, you are not admitting to a deficit. You are demonstrating sophistication and a commitment to experiencing the fullest, safest spectrum of sensation your body can still wonderfully provide. This is the heart of the adaptive practice, where the philosophy of self-care meets the unique and individual reality of your body's current language. Technique must follow function, not memory. The central, crucial truth to embrace is that the goal is no longer a singular, performance-oriented outcome, but the full spectrum of pleasurable sensation itself. Your body's function has evolved. Nerve endings may not fire with the same rapid intensity. Blood flow may create a different kind of firmness, or a firmness that comes and goes. The refractory period lengthens. This is not malfunction, it is simply change. Therefore, the techniques of your youth, often goal-oriented, focused on efficiency and a specific climax, may now lead to frustration or even discomfort. The new methodology is one of exploration, patience, and dialogue with the sensations that are present, not those you recall from the past. Begin by expanding the very definition of the erogenous zone. Move the focus away from the penis as the sole command center of pleasure. This is an invitation to rediscover your entire body as a landscape of potential feeling. Start with a gentle, non-demanding touch elsewhere. The inner thighs, the stomach, the chest, the neck. Use slow, deliberate motions simply to awaken the nervous system and build a foundation of overall arousal. This approach reduces performance pressure on the genitals and allows pleasure to build from a broader base. When you do bring focus to the penis, let your grip be informed by its current state. A softer, more encompassing hold, using the full palm and fingers with ample lubrication, is often far more effective and pleasurable than a firm, repetitive stroke. Rhythm is secondary to pressure and quality of touch. Experiment with different types of motion, circles, gentle pulses, or simply holding with consistent, warm pressure. The objective is to listen. What does the body respond to today? It may be different tomorrow. This variability is not a problem to be solved, but a spectrum to be appreciated. Furthermore, this adaptive approach openly welcomes the use of tools designed to assist. If arthritis or reduced mobility in the hands makes manual dexterity challenging or painful, this is not a reason to abandon self-care. It is a reason to innovate. A variety of ergonomic aids exist, from simple sleeve-style devices that provide gentle, consistent sensation to specifically designed massagers that can be held against the body with minimal grip. Strength, viewing these as legitimate extensions of your own hands, much like a gardener uses a trowel to avoid straining their back, is a mark of practical intelligence. It is about removing barriers between you and your own well-being. Similarly, the mind is your most powerful tool. Mental stimulation through fantasy, memory, or erotic material remains a potent source of arousal, but it too may require adaptation. The focus can shift from visually intense, performance-driven imagery to narratives that emphasize sensation, intimacy, or the very act of self-exploration. The technique, therefore, is holistic. It is the synchronized practice of a curious mind directing a gentle, informed touch across a body. It is committed to understanding in its present honored state. It is about letting function the actual real-time feedback from your nerves, muscles, and circulation dictate the pace, the pressure, and the pathway to satisfaction. In doing so, you are not compromising pleasure. You are refining it, deepening it into a conversation that honors the wisdom and the honest reality of your sixth decade and beyond. Gentlemen, let us return to where we began, the image of your own hand. It is not merely a functional tool, but a testament to a lifetime of experience, strength, and agency. What we have discussed today is the final, profound extension of that agency, the right to claim and cultivate your own sexual well-being with the same intention and intelligence you apply to every other aspect of your health. This is not a sidebar to your life after 60. It is a vital, integrative chapter. By reframing this private practice as a legitimate, dignified form of self-care, you shatter the last vestiges of silence and shame. You move it from the shadows of irrelevance into the clear light of holistic wellness, where it rightfully belongs. This is the foundation, choosing to see your own body not through the lens of past performance, but with present, moment respect and curiosity. The practical guidelines we've outlined: the cardiovascular check-in, the non-negotiable use of lubrication, the adaptation of technique, and the mindful integration of your personal health landscape are not a list of restrictions. They are, in fact, the very architecture of freedom. They are the knowledge that liberates you from anxiety and uncertainty, allowing you to engage with confidence and safety. This informed approach transforms the act from one of potential frustration or risk into one of guaranteed security and deepened sensation. It is the wisdom of your years applied directly to your physical experience, ensuring that pleasure and safety are inextricably linked, each enhancing the other. When you listen to your heart, when you care for your skin, when you adapt to your body's cues, you are not accommodating decline. You are mastering your environment. This journey of self-knowledge is ultimately the highest form of empowerment. It reclaims a narrative It states unequivocally that your capacity for pleasure, for intimacy with yourself, and for a vibrant sensory life does not have an expiration date. It evolves, and in that evolution lies a new depth of understanding. By engaging in this mindful practice, you become the absolute authority on your own body. You gather invaluable information about your responses, your desires, and your needs. This self-awareness becomes a powerful asset, whether in solitude or in partnership. It fosters a communicative, confident, and resilient sexuality that is rooted in reality and enriched by self-respect. Therefore, I challenge you to carry this conversation forward from this space into your own thoughts and, if necessary, into a frank discussion with your healthcare provider. See this not as an ending, but as an initiation into a more conscious and complete ownership of your vitality. Your hand, your mind, your body are still in dialogue. It is time to deepen that conversation with kindness, with intelligence, and with the unwavering conviction that every part of you deserves care and attention for all the days of your life. Go forward with that knowledge and with the profound power it bestows. Thank you.